This is the Good Ride review of the Rome Warden. New for 2020. To give this a quick summary, it's somewhat reminiscent of the Blur that I rode a few years back. Like that light poppy, low cost feel of the Blur. From what I understand, I think this is a lower price point board, and if so, well done. It makes for a good all mountain board for your, more advanced to expert rider on a budget. You can see it's got that medium stiff kind of flex thing going for it. None of these boards were that easy to butter. Even though there is a little bend right before the camber starts up, and I was able to butter it, but I had to use all of my 185 pounds to make it happen. And it's got great pop, very lively, good energy. Kind of what I expect from Rome though. That's kind of one of those things they've always done with most of their boards, especially their camber boards. They're just so lively and energetic. But to talk about the on snow feel, catchy, advanced to expert, more strong intermediate, but more advanced to expert. But it tracks well, it one foots well, and it has that same consistent personality throughout all conditions. The edge hold I felt was good, it's competent. And the edge hold in those hard patches where, it had snowed like 2 inches, like an inch one day, we had a little cream on top, but there was a hard block of snow underneath, and this held on to that. I definitely had to dial back how hard I would commit the edge to the turn, but it held. The turn initiation was fast, medium fast, I would say, bordering on fast. I was 55. I'd probably want the next size up if I was to get this board, but man, this 55 was really close. I was having a really good time on it, and it was really quick edge to edge. And then the turning experience with this, where it might not be the best board in powder compared to many of its peers with a little more early rise, or maybe more setback on board and that kind of stuff. This thing just had such good spring out of the turn, and even in the shitty snow that I got to ride this in, to bordering on good in some places, you could just feel that pop and spring out of the turn, just even weaving in and out of bumps and rutted terrain and finding the good spots to kind of turn through. It's just exciting shit for Nick.
Sorry,
and
it's been a long day.
It just really sprung out of the turn and did a good job.
You look at this side cut, it really cuts in quite a bit.
Yeah.
I can see that this could be a great and fun carby board.
Yeah, it was my favorite turner of all these. And for speed, yeah, there's a little chatter. Rome boards, seem to be more on that poppy, lighter side, even at this price point.
Plus it looks cool.
Yeah, and
cool graphic.
So it's a little off and uneven terrain, but it can still handle a crowded resort day, no problem, and do a good job. And switch, it was doable, but man, like the National and the Agent, 2 boards that are much more similar to one another than this, were definitely better switch. The National was a little better than this, and the Agent was a little better than the National. And powder didn't really get anything that really resembles a powder day here at Mount Bachelor, just like this much snow maybe. And I was really hoping for, they kept saying in the forecast like 3 to 5, 4 to 6, 1 to 3, 1 to 2, so like if that had all added up, it would have been a pretty good powder day and a great way to test this. But check the on the table review. You can see there's a decent setback on board, but with that mostly camber thing and just a touch of early rise, it's going to be a little more work than your average, like hybrid shaped board with more rocker in the nose. For those of you who set it back and like directional powder riding, that's why you get a board like this. But it's going to be better than traditional camber, than a lot of traditional camber boards. Doesn't really have a real big long nose. You can see a lot of effective edge here, and a deep side cut.
Quite a bit.
What?
That edge goes up quite a bit.
Yeah, and then so it just kind of extends the nose like about that much. You know, park, I only rode this in pipe and I had a blast. Yeah, riding pipe. Yeah, it drove so well wall to wall. Yeah. And you know, I suck in the pipe, but man, it was fun to ride it there, and I felt like I could climb the wall higher. And look at this clear base, you know, I forgot to mention this earlier. Just got good glide to it, didn't wax it at all, and rode it in some pretty bad snow, and you can see it doesn't really have much base burn.
No,
and sometimes
it's a little thirsty, but it's all right.
Yeah, sometimes Rome boards can get that base burn.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But I love how it's clear. If you get clear PTEX and a PTEX gun, like, you know, you can get one for like under $100, that's decent. You can repair this without making it look weird and keep this nice for if you get a ding off pieced. And overall,
you're rubbing that there.
I said pieced.
Yeah. Easy.
But overall, this is a well-built, fun board, and its real shining spot is the turn, and that's what we do most. You know, no matter what, you turn more than any other thing out there. This turns, pops, carves really well, and I think if you're somebody who loves those old camber boards but wants something just a little bit more forgiving, I think this could work for you.